There are things about yourself that you do not want anyone to find out. It could be an incident, it could be things you say to yourself, or certain thoughts that you have about yourself. And if you keenly observe in your life, you will still find people around you who respond to you as if they know that about you. For example, if you think that your self worth is really small and you're up to no good, people actually are responding to you exactly in that way. If you do not want your partner to find out that you have frivolous ways, no judgment there, uh, but you will find that your partner actually doubts you quite often. So it's the things that you want to hide that people in your life will project back at you because unconsciously you are communicating it with them. You really can't hide these things. And all of this stems from what you say to yourself and what you hear yourself saying about yourself all day long. And this is going on 24/7, even in your sleep. Your unconscious mind, your subconscious is continuously churning out this information back to you because there are unresolved issues that are there in the subconscious that unconsciously you believe, just like you unconsciously pass on what you want to hide from people to people. You unconsciously believe some things. People don't want to go into the unconscious very often, which is basically just sitting with yourself or going into a deep state of contemplation or meditation. People don't do these things because it's scary, right? The very things you want to hide from people, now you have to confront them and you don't want to see those things. Quite often there's pain beneath those things. Quite often there are behaviors that you get into because you want to distract yourself from certain pain or certain trauma that you don't even remember anymore. And so you repeat these things. That's why there is no judgment, as I said, if you have things that you're addicted to or certain patterns that you're stuck. When you acknowledge and resolve these things, and quite often it's not as hard as you might think it is. It's like this: I was learning to swim, and there was this plank on the third floor where people were just too scared to jump from, right? And I remember how one of our instructors went ahead of us, and we were just this bunch of 10-year olds, right? So this instructor went ahead of us and stood by our side, and I said, "You can jump in the water. It's fine. It's safe. You have the safety jacket. Everything is with you. I'm standing right here. Something happens, I'm right there with you. Go ahead and jump." And then that jump became pretty easy. It's the same case when you're going into unconscious or this deep contemplation, facing your demons, facing these things that you're afraid of. It could be trauma, it could be abuse, it could be so many things, hurt, thing that has caused you grief. Your fear may be, how would you face this, what will happen, but this is all mental. And you need people who can be there with you to let you know that it's all right and can guide you to fetch the exact lessons that you needed to learn from those experiences. And this is how you reconcile the events of life, because these events really don't mean anything other than what meaning you and I assign to them. And so there's a different way of looking at that. Once that is done, right, your strength is renewed. You are one within yourself, and you don't need to repeat those affirmations about self identity. Of course you could do that if you want to, but you don't really have to, because now you have an evidential learning about yourself. You know something about yourself deep down. And when you come back from that, you don't have fears about, well, what will this guy think about that incident in my life? Or what will she think about this behavior in my life? Because that has been resolved. You become one, you're integrated. And so that fear goes away. Now, what happens when that goes away? You're unconsciously transferring to people this newfound courage that you have, that comes from the truth and the honest presence that you experience for the first time in your life, or maybe after you've been there in your childhood, in your innocence, right? You've found your innocence back. And even if you find yourself slipping into one of those patterns again, now the light of your awareness is on that. You know why exactly it is happening, and you can pull yourself out of it, take full responsibility and ownership for every behavior and action and thought that you have. And as you live your life this way, this becomes the basis of your authentic confidence. You're not faking it. You're doing the inner work, right? You're facing what is inside and willing to let it go, resolve, move through it, forgive yourself and forgive others. Because when you can do this work, you will begin to see and look at yourself with a lot of compassion and kindness, and the same compassion and kindness you extend to others, because you can see that you just had a certain idea or conclusion about your experiences, and so do everybody else. We are all just trying to figure out this madhouse of a life where we just wake up one day and we're trying to figure out what is life all about. And people are telling us stuff like it's about our careers, it's about our relationships, it's about this and that and everything else, and all the noise going on. And somewhere then we hear news about someone killing themselves, or there's a celebrity who has got the beauty, the money, the work, the accolades, and everything, but they just go and kill themselves. So, what's going on there, right? All of the societal programs kind of come crashing down when you think about these cases. Like they have love in their life, everything. Why are they killing themselves? So, somewhere we begin to see the cracks in these systems. Your inner world, right? It's the real deal, and you can do everything on the outside to fix things. Distract yourself with alcohol, nicotine, addictions of all sorts, narcotics. You can do whatever you want. But if the inner work, if the inner world is not reconciled, if there are things that are still sitting in there, waiting for your attention, and you keep distracting yourself, it's like your children. Your children will keep making noise till you turn around and pay attention and look at what they have to say, like when they're kids, right? It's the same thing. You keep distracting yourself with everything else. You can watch Netflix and all the other programs, do news, social media. You can even do religion if you want. You can do whatever you want to distract yourself, unless you are willing to spend time with yourself. Either you do it by yourself or acknowledge to yourself that you need help. There's no shame in asking for that. Like, I'm here because I've had an array of beautiful people behind me supporting me, and I can still turn to them and ask for help when I need to just go within. Okay, whether it is spiritual work, whether it is deep emotional work or trauma work, I have people on speed dial. I can just reach out to them. They're there for me. They're my community. So there's no harm in asking for help. That's what I realized for the last 4 years. Reach out to people whom you can connect with. I'm not saying reach out to me, I'm saying reach out to anyone that you feel can listen to you, can hold the space for you. Just like my instructor, my swimming instructor said, hey, it's okay to jump from here. It's all right. I'm here. I'm watching you. I'll take care of you, right? Even if you begin to drown, that person is right there. Okay, you're not taking this on your own. So there's no risk involved for you, but the reward is far, far beyond the life that you are experiencing now. It's limited. It's when you're living with fear, and when people are projecting on you what you are unconsciously sending out about yourself. Think about that for a second and really let this sink in. I would highly recommend, if this made sense to you, to go back and listen to it all over again, because there'll be something that you may have missed out that may connect with you when you do this again and again. I love you. I really love you, whoever you are watching this video right now, because the light in me is the same light in you. We're just having different, unique experiences through different sets of eyes in a different place. But ultimately, it's the same light, it's the same love that we both share. I love you. Find peace.